Great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So we have a podcast called the Ride and Style podcast, but today we have a special edition. We're actually going to be talking about the SEMA Pro Cup Challenge. I'm really excited to meet you guys, Auto Trim Restyling. We want to talk more about the SEMA Pro Cup and what that means. And my first question, Josh has some great questions lined up here, but mine's pretty simple. I just want to know a little bit more about you guys, how you got into the business, and what is it that your business specializes in? Let's start there, and then we can go into the Pro Cup Challenge stuff.
Well, I'm Kevin McGowan, and I got started when I was calling a company in St. Louis, and I was selling other products, hard parts. And I met somebody that was running a similar company. And that somehow evolved into going to work for them. And then that kind of company fumbled. And me and a friend of mine picked it up and started, put the whole band back together, so to speak. And I think that was in 2000. And so that's when really Auto Trim Restyling came into play. But I think I started selling cars in Chicago when I was 20, 21. So I've been in and around the automotive business for a long time.
What I love about Auto Trim Restyling, Jesse, is they are coming to this competition as a previous. So maybe Mike, can you tell us what did you guys build 2 years ago? I remember the Escalade, and to this day, I voted for that, by the way, because I just loved the inside and what you did. But Mike, tell us what you did 2 years ago for the Pro Cup Challenge.
Sure. So 2 years ago, I guess this is our comeback year is really what it is. 2 years ago, we did an Escalade that we lowered, set it on 24-inch dubs, full matte PPF, and then on the inside, Gucci seat belts, which is just crazy.
They were sick.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
So that whole thing, when the whole white vehicle was matted out, and then you open the door and there's these Gucci seat belts. Oh, I sent those to a few of my friends, and I was like, you need to buy your wife some of these.
Right. Yeah, the Gucci seat belt set it off. And it's interesting because I didn't know how many people were actually going to take a look inside the car. Most of the time, people are walking around the outside of the car at these shows. So I didn't think the seatbelts were going to get seen, but I'm glad that they did and were appreciated by people like you.
Yeah.
So.
What did you guys learn from that competition that you're going to bring to this competition?
What we learned was actually by watching the past, what is this, the 6th year, Josh, of this competition?
Well, we had one cancellation year of SEMA. So 5th year, yeah.
Right, COVID year. So we've actually watched, and this year being a redemption year, we've looked back at the previous year's winners and are watching the trends of what's won, but we're also trying to be futuristic and think, what are people going to do this year? So we're watching the past trends. What we did was completely street style, but this year, I think we're going to go more off-roady because that seems to be the way things are going.
Awesome.
So
Kevin, tell us. So what is it? What did you come up with? Tell us your idea. What's your vision for this thing? Tell us what you found.
Well, so you have to have something like that's the newest, latest, greatest. Like when we did the Escalade, we knew a lot of people were going to do Broncos or SUVs and this, or you know what I mean, like off-road stuff. And so we went the other direction. But this year, I was looking at, okay, what is going to be the hottest car? In the past few years, it's been Bronco or, stuff like that. And this year, I'm like, we need to get a Land Cruiser. They're totally impossible to get. They're sold before they hit the ground. And we were going back and forth. Michael and I were going back and forth between Tacoma and that, because Tacoma would have been an easy one, right? We could have got it. But I really wanted a Land Cruiser, and a couple of reasons. Number one, this, I'm a huge Land Cruiser guy. I mean, I've had many so-called disagreements with my wife when we had two, right? We had a black one and a white one. We had his and hers, and mine was all tricked out. And she's like, there's no reason to own two Land Cruisers. And I'm like, well, I disagree. Full-heartedly.
But you don't own it anymore.
But no, I don't own mine right now. And
so
go ahead.
Is this a way for you to be able to customize and trick out your own Land Cruiser without it being your Land Cruiser? Is that what it is?
Is this going to play before? Is there any way?
I'm calling Wendy. I am calling Wendy right when we hang up.
I just sent Josh Wendy's phone number a few
Yes.
minutes ago, so he's
Yeah.
gonna tattle. He's
Yeah.
gonna tattle on you.
Here, look, I'm going to plead the fifth on this one.
So what are you going to do?
No
What are you going to do to this
recollection of
24
that,
Land
the
Cruiser?
Senator.
What are you going to do to it?
So I think we had a great call today with a couple of vendors and really top-notch vendors, and they were really excited about it. So we're going to bring, to the build. We're definitely going to have some wrap material involved. Like there's definitely going to probably the roof's got to be wrapped because it's not really the right color that we want it to be, and it doesn't come the way we want it. Definitely going to have a lift, wheels, tires. We're gonna, roof rack, ladder rack, the traditional off-road stuff, but we're gonna try to find some graphics and stuff that kind of bring it back to the retro because it does have that look,
Mhm.
right? It's really square, really boxy,
Mhm.
and so I think it's going to be a great build, and I'm getting nervous because I just checked on the car with the dealer and it's sitting in a rail yard, Montana. I think that's what he said. I could look it up on my phone. So
We need that. We need to get on the train and get here so you guys can get started. I love it.
well, what's funny about that is I have a friend of mine that I grew up with in Chicago. He's actually riding from Seattle to, I think it's all the way to either Wisconsin or Chicago for cancer. He's doing this huge bicycle ride. And he actually spent 2 nights there. I think it was last night and he was going to stay tonight. So I'm like trying to text him and I called the dealer. I'm like, hey, I got a buddy riding through there on his bicycle. Can we,
Can you pick it up?
It's like, yeah, no, they're not going to let him
No.
in.
So okay. So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
how was the dealer's reaction when you went to him? Because obviously the last time it was a Cadillac dealer. So when you pitched it to the Toyota dealer, what was their reaction? What did it take to convince them to do it?
It was absolutely easy. I mean, it was, hey, we want to do this build. You remember doing we've known the dealer manager for a long time, and it's the same dealer group
Okay.
that owns the Toyota store that has a Cadillac store. And we do a lot of business with the whole group. And so it was very easy. Michael's had a great relationship with him. And so have I for many years. I mean, he was at 2 or 3 of the other stores. So it was easy. Hey, I sent him a text. Hey, I want to come up talk to you. Are you at the show or at the store? And I walked in and I'm like, hey, I want to build a SEMA truck. I really prefer a Land Cruiser, but we would take a Taco. And then, we started discussing what he had coming in, what was sold, what was not sold. And he's like, here, this one's not sold yet. I'm like, can you tag it? Can I have it? And he goes, yeah. And I didn't even have to tell him the parameters. We didn't talk about pricing, anything. He just remembers
Yeah.
the SEMA build from 2 years ago. And he was all over it. I mean, and it was funny. He turned his computer screen to me and he had, what are the wheels and tires we're using, or the wheels that we're using?
Yeah, we're gonna use Method race wheels, I think, on this build. Not 100%, but probably.
Yeah.
And he already had pictures pulled up.
He had
Or was it the
a
background?
screen in his background screen was 3 lamps that have already been built with metal tech wheels and stuff
Awesome.
like that. And so when I said I want to do a build, and he just turned his screen, and he goes,
Something like this?
these? And I'm like,
Yes.
yes, but better.
Better. Michael, let me ask you this. Before Jesse asks his question, will this one have Louis Vuitton seatbelt?
No, we're gonna do a no designer seatbelts on this
Okay.
one, Josh.
All right. Well, I'm a little disappointed. I can't,
Why not?
I'm just,
Yeah,
but
could have got some Louis V.
little Louis V. I mean, I don't know
Louis
how you
V.
step it up from Gucci, but that would be my guess. Is there anything that you're looking forward to, Michael, that is just going to take this build over the top?
Kevin already touched on it. I really like the idea of bringing the modern, newest Land Cruiser and doing some throwback stuff on it to bring back the Land Cruiser of days past. Actually, when Toyota designed this Land Cruiser, or quote unquote Prado, kind of a smaller size Land Cruiser, I mean, you can see it in their 1958 trim level. They tried to make it look like even the round headlights from previous Land Cruiser. So we're excited to put together a little bit of new and a little bit of old and make it seamless, make it nice, make it flow. So that's what I'm excited about.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Awesome. Yeah. So, okay, guys, let's just assume you're going to win. Okay. Confidence level high. what difference would that make to you and your business and to the other people you're working with, like the dealership?
I think, first of all, even just the car, say we lose, it's still going to create a tremendous amount of showroom excitement amongst the salespeople, amongst customers coming in for service, just like hyping everybody up about this really cool car. Now, if we win, we get to have a lot of social media content around it, which is really cool, to help both us and the dealer, right? It hypes up the people in the shop for sure, being able to have that trophy sit, in the waiting room. Um, what else? What do you think, Kev?
Well, I think, it's just another kind of notch in auto trim restyling's belt as we move and transition from, Kevin to, Michael and Ryan coming up in the business and being able to, use technology like he was talking about, social media, stuff like that, right? And so not only does it create that, obviously solidifies us at the dealer approach, but even more so when you look to the owner of the dealer group, right?
Mhm.
And then he gets to promote it, right? And I think that it helps us with the vendors that we've chosen to put on this. So those wheel manufacturers will take a better look at us or a different look at us going, hey man, there's this guy in St. Louis, this restyler that's, he did a really nice build.
Mhm.
And I think it'll give us some of that, I mean, we've been around a long time, but it gives you that gravitas.
Well, two things, Kevin, before we let you go. First of all, show Jesse your shirt that you had created. Make aftermarket great again. Gotta love it. He's got hats and a shirt. Jesse's a large. We'll wear one of those. And then the second thing is, now if you haven't thought of a name for your package yet, I think I have an idea. Let's call it the ATR, the Auto Trim Redemption.
Okay.
Auto Trim
I like
Redemption.
it.
Come on. This is your year,
I
guys.
like it.
We were thinking about helping out the dealer with their own branding because the dealership group's called Bomber, largest dealer group in the state of Missouri. And we were going to call it the BLC1, the Bommarito Land Cruiser
Ooh,
1.
I like it. I like it.
That kind of jazzes them up a little bit.
I
Which
love
thought
it.
would be cool.
So we'll just say this is the Auto Trim Redemption car, but it's named the BLCM1. I love it.
Yeah.
BLC1.
Yep.
I love it.
I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, if people want to find out more about you guys, where do they go? Is it atrstl.com or where you want them to go to Instagram or Facebook, or how do they find out more about you guys?
Don't go to the post office.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael, where can we find you guys at beside Kevin's face on the post office wall?
Right. Or in the most wanted St. Louis Journal section. Find us at atrstl.com on the web or at AutoTrimSTL on Instagram. Best places to find us and keep up with who we are and what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of it. And let's make sure Jesse gets an email of this, and then we'll do a follow-up after the build's done, right before SEMA. So then we'll sandwich them together, edit them, sandwich them together, and then we'll release it right at SEMA.
Nice.
Oh,
Love
that's
it.
awesome. We're super excited, and I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
very
much for your
much.
time today, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
Yep.
guys.
All right.
Our pleasure. Thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely.
And we'll get this to you ASAP.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
See you guys.
Take care, guys. Talk to you
Peace.
See
soon.
you, Jess. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for being here. We're just going to we're going to have you kind of recap. We'll, let everybody know who you are again, but mostly recap the project and kind of go over. In fact, we could just start now. If you guys don't mind, tell us what was the vehicle and what was the dealership and what did you put on it? Kind of tell us what the basics were.
Sure. Thanks, Jesse, Josh, for having us back on. I'm Michael, and this is Father Kevin from Auto Trim Restyling in St. Louis. And we picked out a vehicle for this year's Pro Cup Challenge, a 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. And we got it from Bommarito Toyota, a great partner that we've been working with for years and years and years. They happily handed over the keys to the 24 Land Cruiser for us to have some fun with. We've had it for 6 weeks. It's getting shipped off to SEMA, and it was a fun project. Some bumps along the way, But
Oh, I
we
can only
really-
imagine, especially on a brand new car that hasn't been on the market very long. So tell us, first of all, tell us who some of your sponsors were that helped you out, what you put on it.
Sure. First and foremost, Jeff Westcott at Westcott Designs. Probably one of the biggest names in Toyota off-road right now. Toyota Lexus, actually. He hooked us up with roof rack, molly panels, rear ladder rack, the 2.5-inch preload collar lift kit for this Land Cruiser. Big shout out to Jeff Westcott. Patrick at Method Wheels hooked us up with a set of Method MR318s. We wrapped them in some Toyo tires, the new RT Trail. Shout out Toyo. And Rigid Industries hooked us up with some of their 4-inch pod lights that we featured all across the roof rack from Westcott Designs. And then we can't forget Lumar hooking us up with some window tint and some PPF, which we used in a creative way.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Now, this thing has a little bit of retro, Kevin. Is it exactly the way you envisioned it, or did you guys take some turns and detours along the way?
Well, no, I mean, it goes to when we first were looking at doing the Land Cruiser, right away you go to the web, you go to the internet and then you start seeing renderings, right? And I saw a couple of renderings and I'm like, I really like this one. And so if you look at that rendering, it's pretty darn close. I mean,
we didn't completely steal it.
We didn't completely steal it, but the stripe, that was a challenge, right? Because you can't just get that stripe, right? Somebody kind of made it look like it. And then so we had to take it to a place and say, here's the car,
Digitize
here's
it.
the rendering. Now figure out how it goes on the truck. And it really came out fantastic. And really, I love the build. And this is the first time actually Michael and I agreed on everything on the build, and we agreed that we would both buy the vehicle.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, this is, because usually, like, we're,
Yeah.
like, he's Thule, I'm Yakima, there's always the yin and yang. Older guy likes, I want my white New Balance, and he wants, whatever his skater shoes are. So, it's funny.
Well, it turned out really good. I love how clean it is. I even told you guys, I said, listen, this looks like a factory package. And I don't just throw compliments out there. I can be one of the most ruthless people ever, but it really did a great job. Go ahead, Jesse.
What happened wrong? What were the hurdles and the hiccups that you ran through? It couldn't have been that smooth. There was a lot that you did.
I'd say the first part is a lot of this product is available on the shelf, but Westcott Designs parts, they have blown up so big that they're 7 to 8 weeks back ordered on parts. So to get stuff in the timeline that we needed to, Jeff had to help us cut in front of the line, right? So getting parts and getting them on time and then getting them assembled and ready to go on the vehicle was a challenge. So timeline, just waiting on stuff was a hiccup. Of course, with a new vehicle, like we were talking about earlier, Josh, the Land Cruiser is brand new. We don't know a ton about wheel and tire fitments yet because there's not a lot of YouTube people out there yet. There's not a lot of stuff on custom offsets. There's nowhere to find out how big of a tire can we cram under this thing. So that's always a challenge. We ended up having to change offsets on wheels, and then getting that stripe figured out was kind of a pain.
What was your favorite part of the whole process?
The dream phase, for sure. Like when we were on last time, it's literally just like, what are we gonna get ourselves into here? Like, and just having fun being car guys,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I was super excited about how to. So what are you going to do if you win?
One of us is going to buy this vehicle.
I'm just throwing this out there. A couple of the other guys said that they would buy us beer if they won. I'm just throwing that out there.
Right. Okay.
So I'm, just don't feel obligated, but you totally
I'm
feel
the
obligated.
hats, babe. I'm bringing.
So tell us a little bit about what's new this year.
I'm not going to be talking to the judges or anything.
You are one of the judges. So Kevin, you have a great little marketing thing that we're also going to show at the show. You're going to be doing some signings. You're bringing some T-shirts, some hats, and tell us a little bit about that. What is that?
So, well,
I know for sure I'm going to have some of the make aftermarket great again.
Well, tell them about your campaign.
Yeah.
What's your campaign,
So,
Ambassador?
so it's make aftermarket great again. So it was just came up. I was having fun one day, and you know, Michael, for years we've had life's too short to drive a boring car, and that's really our tagline on everything. And I just was sitting there, and you know, the guy with the red hat is running again, and I'm like, man, I think we should just do a special run of red shirts with make aftermarket great again, right? Just as a right. And so I did a run of 24 hats and 24 shirts, and everyone's like, don't do it, you know, please, Dad, do not do it. And I did it. And I was driving back. I don't know where we were. Wendy and I were driving, and we get a phone call, and it's Michael. And you never know what you're going to get when you get on the phone with one of my kids. And he goes, I have the best idea ever. And, you know, first of all, I pucker up a little bit because I'm like, okay,
how much is this going to cost me?
Right. Or, right. And so he goes, what if we did a TV ad? He goes, last night, it was a Friday, because he goes, last night, Thursday night football, all I saw was political ads. I'm going to do this. This guy's no good. That guy's going to, you know, all that stuff. And he goes, what if we made your make aftermarket great again a real campaign? Like, I'm pro, you know, reservoir shocks. I'm pro lip big tires and all this stuff. And we get cardboard signs for the house and up front. And I'm like, dude, we have to do it. We absolutely have to do it. So we called the video guy, and we made some ads, and we had some fun doing it. And
so you'll be out at SEMA. You will have some MAGA make aftermarket great again hats and t-shirts.
Yes.
That you will be signing as the ambassador of aftermarket.
That's right.
That's the office.
I'm running
you're the incumbent. You're running again. You already are the ambassador.
I am.
You're the incumbent.
That's right.
So that's great. And Jesse, let me just tell you something. I was at their shop in St. Louis. A customer saw one and said, I gotta have that. And so Kevin had to run out to his car. They were about to do this big build on this guy's F-150. And Kevin goes, don't worry, I'll get you a shirt too. What's your size? It was great. Customers love it. It's going to be great. So it's an extra little thing. Super excited to see you guys out there. Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm looking forward to getting the polls and getting everybody out there, and maybe I'll volunteer to be a part of your, you got to have a team to pull this off, right?
Tell us how we can find you.
Yeah, tell us how we can find you. What's the website and the social media? Remind everybody how they can get a hold of you.
You can find us on the web at atrstl.com. That's Auto Trim Restyling St. Louis, atrstl.com. Facebook, Auto Trim Restyling. That's where you'll find some of those great campaign videos. And Instagram at Auto Trim STL.
That's awesome.
Great. Thank you, guys. This has been awesome.
Thank you. And we will see you in Vegas. And don't be late. Don't be late for the judging too. Otherwise, you'll get docked points.
All right. Yeah. We got some more stuff to fill in for those bonus points. So we'll get that stuff
perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Take care. Thank you again.
All right, guys. We'll see ya.
Bye.